Hello everyone, this hour on Verbling, the next in my Getting Results in Business series. We're just beginning a new unit. This is our 8th unit in the upper intermediate level, and the theme is outsourcing work. We've so far begun to work with our ideas, we've brainstormed for good vocabulary related to outsourcing. We're going to take that a step further today, and we're going to learn a variety of new words related to outsourcing by reading a text and doing a little listening activity, always in the context of something related to a business transaction, meeting, presentation. One of those things, and we'll get our vocabulary from that directly. Well, that's a bit about the class. Here's a bit about me. I'm John Eric, your Verbling teacher for this hour. I'm an American teacher from New York, hanging out in Lisbon, Portugal to bring you this class. By the way, here are 3 quick rules to help you participate. Don't forget to turn off, tune in, and open up, which means please turn off your microphone when you're not speaking so we can keep the classroom quiet. Please tune in to the new words you learn. That means use them actively so I can correct you and give you feedback. But also, open up to your classmates. Relax and have fun. We're all here to learn, and this is a safe and respectful place to practice your English. Okay, when you open the link, you get this. And you can find the link in the course material on the Verbling page. And I'll be nice and also post it as well. Give me a second. Oops, I just posted the wrong thing. Give me a second here, and I'll post it for you as well. You'll get it in just a second. I have to control, copy link, and okay. So in the chat window, you can also open up the presentation there. And in case we use our notes, yesterday we took some good notes. If I correct you and give you more vocabulary, I'll put it in the notes. So I'll paste that in the chat window as well. Okay? So you can open those up on your own. Before we begin, let's just say a quick hello to Veronica. Hello, Veronica. How are you?
Hello, I'm fine. Thanks.
Very good. And where are you from, Veronica?
I'm from Poland.
From Poland. Fantastic. Nice to have you. Welcome back, Shadow, as well. And Khalid and Daniel. Hello, everyone. Everyone can hear me okay?
Yes, hello. I can hear you.
And what does TYY stand for, Shadow?
It means thank you.
Oh, but why 2 Ys? Thank you, you?
Oh, no, it's wrong.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe it was something I didn't know about, like I should learn texting abbreviations or something, maybe. I don't know. Okay, so let's get started. In the last class, we took turns basically describing the photo and working out some good vocabulary based on what we saw. Let's go a little further. So here, we're moving beyond this. We discussed these 3 questions yesterday. What is outsourcing? Oh, you know what? I erased our notes yesterday. Oh no, sorry. I accidentally erased the notes that we took yesterday. Unfortunately, because we had a definition of what is outsourcing here, an example of companies that do it. I think it was Apple was our example. And then what are some advantages and disadvantages. But I'm sorry, I accidentally erased the notes when I updated the file. So yesterday we defined outsourcing as giving work to a third party. That's what I remember. And when we do it, we decided that we do it when the third party has more resources than we do, or when we may save money somehow. And we talked about how outsourcing, for disadvantages and advantages, we talked about how outsourcing could be maybe more logistically expensive, but overall less expensive because we might cut down on operational costs. And all of that great vocabulary is in the notes on page, I'll tell you in a second, on page 5. So if you open the second link, you can review the vocabulary that we learned yesterday right here. You'll see it in a second. There you go. On page 5, you'll see Unit 8, Outsourcing Work. Yesterday, what did we do? We brainstormed vocabulary for outsourcing. So what was important about it? Well, now you have a basic set of words for talking about outsourcing. Now what should you do with that basic set of words? Well, you still need words and expressions for actually doing outsourcing. So we're going to get to that soon. But at least you can talk about it. What else? You will describe the photo using some of the words we've learned in class. I'll send you the material. So I have to send you that. Yesterday I was doing a training and I didn't get a chance to send it out. But I can send you the picture from the first page, the list of connectors that we learned yesterday, and you'll have a chance to do the activity that we did together, but you'll get a chance to do it as a writing assignment on your own. So that'll be coming up after class. Here's the vocabulary from yesterday. Outsourcing, to outsource operational costs, optimizing resources, workforce, reducing the workforce. That means firing people or laying them off. So I'll put that. Firing versus laying people off. Quality assurance we talked about yesterday. Core business, mass production, logistics, keeping something running, like keeping a company running. A third party, we outsource to a third party. Wage slave. Sylvia, you liked the word wage slave yesterday. What does that mean, wage slave? Remember it?
Yes, it's like a slave, so they are not paid enough for the work that they are doing.
Right. So it's like when you're getting paid, but it's more like being a slave because you're not getting paid enough. Kind of like being a teacher. Ha ha ha, ha ha ha. Just kidding. By the way, don't laugh at my jokes. It's okay. Only laugh if they're funny. Are there any words from that list that you want to find, particularly if you were not here yesterday? I mean, we're going to see them again, but if there's any words that are particularly puzzling, just ask. All right, so today we're going to be doing the Working with Words section, talking about outsourcing. Well, since you're here, Sylvia, why don't you read the directions for us at the top, if you don't mind?
Many American and European companies outsource part of their production or service provision to emerging economies like Brazil, Russia, India, and China. What opportunities?
Say the word one more time. Economies.
Economies.
Yeah, not economies, because we'd say economics, but economies. So economics, first syllable. No, wait, economics. Second syllable, economics. Third syllable in the noun, but economies, second syllable when it's plural. Economies.
Economies, like Brazil, Russia, India, and China. What opportunities does this provide for these countries? What problems can it cause for them?
Well, I'll leave that open to the class. Let's start with question number 1, class. What opportunities could it provide? By the way, at the time the material was written, Brazil was still considered a developing country. I don't know if we'd say that anymore about Brazil. Brazil's kind of pretty strong. Russia never, well, Russia goes up and down, I guess. India used to be a stronger power than Europe, and arguably it still is. China seems to be moving down in the world rather than up. But what about that first question? What opportunities does this outsourcing provide for these countries? Let's just be clear about that.
I think the opportunity for those countries, this is will bring a new job for for the people in this live in this country.
Unusual.
New job, new job, new job.
Oh, new job. Sorry, I heard
No job.
I thought you said
In
unusual.
English, new job
Okay,
for
new
them,
jobs.
for the for the people in this country, for locals.
We'll call them locals. Okay. Any
Yeah.
other ideas? Any other opportunities it might bring? Particularly if you live in Brazil, Russia, India, or China, this is a great opportunity to give your opinion.
Transfer knowledge also.
Transfer of knowledge. That's interesting. Actually, I don't think anyone's ever said that before. What do you mean?
Transfer knowledge, it's the developing country, they don't have the technology, but when some developed country like America build country like America doing the business in developing country, so the worker will get the knowledge or the training and improvement. So this is what we call transfer knowledge.
Okay, so it's kind of an educational opportunity.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, that's interesting. That's a good point. It also reminds me of what they say about war. You know, no one knew anything about the Middle East in America until we invaded. Now people started learning Arabic, and there's TV shows like Homeland all about places like Beirut and Afghanistan and wherever else it's supposed to take place. So it's an education for the developed country too, maybe a cultural education.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and Khalid is surely not the only person with an opinion in this classroom. Am I right? Right, Daniel?
I think it's a good way to develop their basic infrastructures.
Okay, that's a good idea. Tell me a little bit about that. What do you mean?
Maybe highways, transportation.
And how will it develop those things?
Because you need for people transportation from their house to the factory, and to move the goods, you need a good infrastructure of transportation. Or
so, for example, a company like I remember when Microsoft set up its like develop its like factories or something in India near Hyderabad. This place that was worth nothing, like economically had it nothing, suddenly became a multi-billion-dollar estate, and everyone became rich because the land was suddenly valuable, and they had to build roads to get to this was a long time ago when I was a kid. They had to build roads because I had a friend from Hyderabad, so he was saying suddenly they had roads and they had to people had to get to work, and then they had to have kind of American-style suburban houses too. They had to house them somewhere. So, good or bad, they had to develop the area in a way that it had not been developed before.
Sorry, teacher. I would like to interrupt you here because I knew the story about the Hyderabad from the specialist in the international bank. He said last time the Microsoft wanted to, choosing place in India. So when they visit that place, they didn't find any airport or any transportation. So they said we cannot building a training center or something, any kind of technology here. So that time, the clever people in India go to the company, Boeing company.
Right, Boeing, the airplane company.
The airplane company, the American one, and they give them the area for the airport, and then everything is go faster. And you know, now the Hyderabad is famous for the technology and for the IT training and a lot of things.
Yeah, yeah, that's really good. So what you're saying is they formed a kind of a partnership with Boeing to be
Yes,
able.
Boeing. Yes,
Ah, I
right.
see. Very good. And that was Hyderabad, the city, doing that, or was that
Yes, yes.
Microsoft?
That was the starting point.
Right,
You
right, right.
know, yeah.
Oh, it's very interesting. I didn't know that. I just remember when I was a kid that it had rapidly changed and rapidly developed. Well, what about the second question, class? What problems do you think it can cause? Let's hear from Veronica because you're new. We're talking about outsourcing. Do you have any experience with outsourcing, Veronica? Do you work for a company that outsources?
No, actually, I'm still a student, so
What do you
I'm
study?
um, I'm in high school and
Oh, you
I'm
study
in
everything.
biology and chemistry class. So
Okay, very good. And how long until you graduate?
this is my last year.
Okay, so what are you going to do with your life?
I think I'll become a doctor,
There you go.
maybe one day. We'll
Why
see.
not? Fantastic. Well, in this class, you're going to learn some good business English, I hope, which is always good for a doctor to know.
Of
Maybe
course.
maybe not outsourcing, maybe that's not the most useful thing, but we're going to get other vocabulary too. Let me ask this one to the class. What problems do you think it could cause? No, not to the class. To Shadow, because you've been too quiet. Shadow, what problems do you think outsourcing can cause? We've talked about some of these already, but what would you say to kind of sum it up?
Like, first, teacher, I'm not good really in business discussion.
Oh,
Really, I'm not good about these things, but I think
go ahead.
I think that it caused problem in America maybe and Europe because the people there will maybe they will lost their jobs.
That seems like a pretty valid point. That's kind of the most important issue right now, isn't it, in the States? This talk about, I mean, it's been going back to the 80s when outsourcing became huge. So jobs are being taken away, uh, particularly well, by both dominant political parties. Um, and it's kind of strange because uh, jobs are being outsourced and resources are being insourced. That's one of the things that Obama changed. In the 70s, Nixon said we have to get away from foreign oil. Well, Obama's the one who's actually done that. He's starting to extract oil and ruin the environment by allowing all these construction projects. Meanwhile, outsourcing has become so huge that the prevailing industry is, service industries rather than manufacturing. Things like we used to make all these cars. So it's a good example. Look at Detroit. The economy, the whole city went bankrupt, right? Practically the whole state, because the manufacturing industry was gutted. Gutted means, like they take out the guts of the fish and you just leave the skin and bones. It was gutted. It's a very good point. Lose jobs, not loose jobs. Sorry, lose jobs. That's exactly the point. What other problems do you think it could cause? Sylvia, what would you say?
Uh, Also for the country is not good because if they change place. So we are talking about the country who outsource or the other.
Both. I mean, let's talk about everything.
Okay, for example, we have the company for the cars, Fiat, then now they are outsourcing everything to other place, but before was a state company, kind of
Fiat.
state
You mean
company.
Fiat, right?
Yes.
And now
Uh,
it's Fiat bought Chrysler in America.
yes. Yes. And so also for the economy of the status for Italy is not good because we paid a lot for the economy of the company years ago, and now they are outsourcing, and so we lose money.
So there's an issue there we call recouping, recuperating, uh, recuperate. Strange because I always spelled it differently when it's in a single, when it's abbreviated, recoup. In other words, you had to pay taxes for fiat,
Yes.
and now all your tax money went down the toilet because fiat has been privatized or bought out privately.
Yes.
So your parents were paying tax all this time, and they got no shares of the profit of the company. They didn't get any profit for
And
themselves.
now they also transfer the company from Italy to America and the base of the company, and so we lose everything.
Right. So people lost their jobs as well.
Also, yes.
Hmm. There you go. And I put Veronica's comment there. Outsourcing isn't very well paid. That's true. That's the whole point of outsourcing. It's cheaper somewhere else. Okay, let's keep some of these ideas in mind as we get a little bit more vocabulary through reading. So we're gonna study this particular passage. Well, what do you think? Yuki, do you think you could take the first little box on the left?
India could earn as much as $60 billion a year from information technology and outsourcing, industry reports says. Just a minute. India potential market. India's IT and outsourcing market is currently worth $22 billion and is expected to grow consistently. Within the next 5 years, business worth more than $110 billion will be outsourced worldwide to offshore locations, of which India is set to capture more than 50%. IT and outsourcing is projected to double to 7% of India's GDP and account for 44% of export growth.
There we go. And Daniel, want to take the middle one for us? Employment?
Employment. The sector currently employs 700,000 people directly, and this is expected to rise to 2.3 million in the next
2.3 million, right?
million in the next 5 years. At current rates, there will be a shortfall of 500,000 skilled workers. Indirect employment is also set to triple over the same period, as more software and business process outsourcing (BPO) services are outsourced to India. Many companies are finding that using outside expertise for BPO enables greater concentration on their core activities.
Okay, very good. And what do you think? So, Khalid, could you do skills and infrastructure for us?
Skills and infrastructure. There is an urgent there is an urgent need there is an urgent need to develop at least 10 knowledge cities with university and other training facilities to meet future employment need. In addition, the infrastructure.
Wait. Future employment needs. In addition, new sentence. In addition,
to meet future employment needs. In addition, In addition, the infrastructure of these cities should be developed so that they have their own airport, roads, office space, and housing to meet the needs of the technology firms.
All right. So, a lot of information and a lot of numbers. What do you think? Let's go back just for a second. In the second, okay, I might have skipped a slide. I'm sorry. In the second part here, it asks us to read the article, which we just did, and we've got two other additional questions. What are the main opportunities and problems for India? So now we're going to talk specifically about India here.
Okay.
Anyone, I'm talking to the whole class. Give me your
Yes,
ideas.
the opportunity, I can take the opportunity. One of the opportunity is the developing of India economies, because they will grow by 60 billion per year.
Okay, so growth by 60 billion. I'm going to put a BN for billion.
BN per year.
And I can actually put a little plus. So that's what, oh, there we go. A little plus. Growth by 60 billion. Now, what's the time range? Do you remember? Not per year, because that would be too much.
Sorry, 5 years?
Right. Over 5 years. Over 5 years. Okay, so that means during. Over means during. Same thing. Okay? Another opportunity. Sylvia, do you remember another opportunity that was brought? So we got growth by 60 billion. What else? Use your memory. Or cheat. You can reread it if you like.
Go to another person.
Daniel, I see you've made a note. Tell us about your note.
Employment.
Okay, what about it?
The government hope the employment rise. They need to prepare to training people for new works, new kind of works, because maybe they need training workers.
They need skilled workers.
Skilled workers, yes.
Skilled workers. Okay, so employment increase, but also this indirect employment too, because it's not just the employment directly, but those services that are related, like you said, infrastructure or training people in particular skills. So you got to have teachers as well. So that would be indirect employment. Okay, I agree completely.
English teachers.
They need teachers. I should go there. Veronica, tell us about your point.
Development of cities. So they have to educate people who are meant to work in these outsourcing companies. So there are more and more universities, and they need appropriate infrastructure.
Okay, so maybe more universities, or at least training centers, if not universities, because it depends on what kind of training they're doing. It might not be classical education, but okay, something at least. And what about the financial part?
I think the GDP will increase by 7%.
So
Especially from the GDP, yes.
So GDP
will increase or growth by 7%.
Yeah, not just increase, but double. 7%. What does GDP stand for? Do you know? Anyone know? GDP?
I forget, but
Gross
Gross, yes.
Gross, Gross, gross domestic
Profit.
Product.
product. Gross domestic product. Okay, very good. That's basically the same points that I had. I'm going to put a little negative. I'd like to hear some of the problems it brought to India. So the GDP has gone up. Uh, um, earnings have gone up. Don't forget the IT market has got a big boost. We didn't mention that. Boost to the IT market. Okay, but what are some of the negative things that have happened as a result? Or what are some problems? I'm sorry, what are some, not negative things, what are some problems with outsourcing to India? What are the downsides of outsourcing?
The India or for other?
No, for the company that wants to outsource to India, what are the problems they face? I mean, you could just look at it in reverse. If the opportunity for the people there is that they get more training, the downside of that for the company that wants to outsource is
the cost of the training.
Yeah. Also lack of
Finding
training.
people training.
Say again, Daniel?
To find training people.
Exactly. Not trained, but skilled.
Skilled.
Finding skilled workers. Maybe the cost of training as well, because who pays for that? Is it the company? Is it the government? Someone's got to pay. Yeah, maybe, but maybe some of it is from the company that's investing too. Yeah, absolutely.
The government,
the infrastructure is
infrastructure.
not ready yet. Infrastructure, poor infrastructure.
Exactly. Poor infrastructure is definitely a problem. Okay. Now America is the one with the infrastructure problem because there's been like no investment in the public sector for so many years that, you know, bridges all over America are starting to fall down, literally. I mean, it's a huge mess. Transportation is actually very expensive. You have to have a car to go anywhere. Shouldn't be like that.
But at least, John, you have infrastructure. But here in Libya, there is no infrastructure at all.
we have it, but then again, if you're taking a train somewhere and it costs this ridiculous amount of money, like it's not like Europe. It costs so much money to like take a train, for example. You know, I mean, just stupid things like that could be fixed if they just make an investment, but it's not politically viable or whatever. Anyway, yes, at least we have the infrastructure. I don't know how good it is. So question number 2, are the opportunities for India greater than the problems? Are the opportunities for India greater than the problems that might result? It's a little bit of a weird question, but okay, let's just leave it at that. I won't judge it. Yuki, what do you think? Are the opportunities greater?
I think the opportunity is greater
Carl,
than the problems.
let other students speak, please.
Sorry.
All right, everyone calm down, relax.
He asked me.
Go ahead, Yuki.
From this article, it seems to me that the opportunity there are more opportunity than problems. Of course, there is a lack of still there is a poor infrastructure and lack of skilled workers. But on the other hand, it means the future opportunity to create opportunity of construction and opportunity of training new workers. So I think there is more potential on India market.
So the point is, even where there's problems, we can probably solve those problems. Like you were mentioning training. So maybe poor education in the moment, but there's a way to solve it. So it seems like it's viable, right? There appear to be great opportunities, and where there are problems, there at least appear to be solutions for those problems. So it seems like it's pretty worthwhile. I want to take a look at some of the vocabulary too. So look, let's go back here for a second. Where's my text? There we go. Notice the words in bold. Offshore locations, export growth, sector, skilled workers, indirect employment, business process sourcing, that's BPO, expertise, core activities, training facilities and infrastructure. Good, very good business vocabulary. Part of a country's economy. Veronica, which of those words in bold do you think best fits that definition? Part of a country's economy.
Country's economy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe infrastructure.
Infrastructure. We'll see in a moment. I'll put it there.
It seems to be part of something, but I'm not sure.
Okay, but that's all right. We'll see in the end if we agree. Okay, I'll put it there for now. All right, and Sylvia.
Yes, I think basic system like transport that a country needs to work properly. I think it's this infrastructure.
Okay, so let's move infrastructure here.
Yeah, right. That's right.
So what about the first one then? Part of a company's economy, Sylvia. So you're moving infrastructure there. So Sylvia and Veronica, what would you say for number one then? Do you have a second guess?
Export?
Exports. Let's put exports there for now. We'll only know by doing a process of elimination. So we'll only know it when we get to the end. We're on to shadow for number three.
The things done in a company that are most important for its main area for... I don't know.
Want to make a guess? By the way, don't forget, just go back to the words in bold. They're not easy this time. These are not easy words. So skim through it, take a look at the words in bold, and remember things done in a company that are most important. The most important things that a company does, the most important activities.
Core activities.
It's gotta be, yeah. Core activities. So the core is the most important, the basic ones. All right? Yuki, what do you think about 4, secondary jobs?
Secondary jobs created by the economic activity of company. Second.
This is something that came up when you were talking, actually.
Indirect employment.
Exactly, yeah. We were talking about how there have to be teachers hired. So that's a kind of indirect employment. One of the possible benefits. There we go. Indirect employment. It's not spelled like that. It's spelled like that. Okay, very good. And Daniel, what about number 5?
Place where people can learn new skills.
Read that first word again. Read it again. First word.
Place.
Read it again.
Places.
Yes.
Places. Places where people can learn new skills. University.
Take a look. Look, don't guess.
Training facilities.
It's gotta be. Yep. So I'll put training facilities. Okay. And who's next? Khalid, what about number 6? What do you think?
I think the GDP.
Increase in products sold. Well,
Export.
yeah, I think you're right.
Oh, yeah,
Look,
that one we should move the first one to.
but wait a second. Oh, right. Yeah. Here we have exports.
Yeah.
Okay. In fact, let's go back to the word in bold. The specific word was export growth. Export growth, which you can see in the first box, export growth. So let's change this to export growth because we're trying to use exactly what we see, those exact words. All right? So that means we got to go back to number 1 as well. But we'll
Number 1 is, I think, the sector.
sector. Okay.
Yes. I
Yeah.
thought it's one particular part of country's economy, but it's just part, like sector.
Exactly. So part is sector, area, field, any of those things is good. All right? Where are we back to? Let's see. Vislav, welcome to class. I didn't see you come in.
Hello. Sorry, I'm delayed.
Long time no see.
Because through the day, at the evening, I'm usually on the verbing.
Well, good to see you in the morning. So, we just read a little text with some very good vocabulary, and we're just basically testing ourselves whether that vocabulary, which you can see here on page 10, whether we have the general idea. So I've got definitions on page 11. We're flipping back and forth between page 10 and 11. So you have to kind of read that on your own by clicking on the link in the chat window, and you'll get the you can download that to your computer. I think we're back to Sylvia for number 7, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe, go for it. Yeah.
People with the training and experience to do a job well, skilled works.
So that's correct, but say it again.
Skilled workers.
There's no such thing as skilled.
Skilled?
Skilled.
Skilled workers.
Good. Skilled workers. That's it. And Veronica, what about 8? This one is a little bit tricky, actually.
Contracting a business task such as payroll to an outside service provider. So maybe business process outsourcing?
Yeah, it's a strange technical word, which you don't hear very often, but that's it. So I can abbreviate this to BPO. But you're absolutely right. It's business process outsourcing. More software and business process outsourcing services are outsourced to India. Business process outsourcing. We should define what that means. So we'll come back to it and try to give an example in just a minute. And Shadow, we're on to you for 9.
Special knowledge or skill in a particular subject, activity, or job. Expertise.
Expertise.
Oh, sorry, expertise.
Expertise is correct. And Yuki, you want to do the last one, number 10?
Based in a whole foreign country, it's offshore locations.
Offshore locations. Okay, let's go back to this BPO for a second. Here you can see it on the screen. The same, okay, indirect employment is also set to treble over the same period as more software and business process outsourcing services are outsourced to India. What do you think? What kind of services would business process outsourcing entail? Let's get some ideas first. So what do you think BPO consists of? Any ideas?
Hire people to hire people.
Well, what do you mean? Business process outsourcing means hiring people?
Hiring people and maybe in a company in that country. You need to contract.
To do what, though? Let's try to clarify what it actually means. What will they be doing? What kinds of things do you think? I mean,
all the process. You need a product, and it is cheaper in that country.
yeah,
And you
like
need
making
to
computers in China, for example.
Mhm.
I agree.
You need maybe to make contact with someone in that country. Maybe mainly first of all with the government,
Uh-huh.
and then with a company which made this product.
Okay, so for manufacturing, that's like usually what we think about outsourcing,
Mhm.
right? Like making iPads in China or something. But here's a question for you. What about back
Teacher,
office? Uh-huh.
maybe I have an idea here because in the report said as more software and business process outsourcing
Mm-hmm.
uh, uh, service are outsourced to India. You know, now the business process we in the company now are we move to the technology, automate the business process. And as you know, the India very famous with the programming, and there is a lot of people with the programming skills. So there is opportunity for outsource the automation and business process and software from India.
Absolutely. And in fact, I agree completely. And in fact, here's a fun fact. I just put it on the screen there at the bottom. Let's see if we can see it. India and the Philippines were the #1 places down here. In 2010, the Philippines surpassed India as the largest business process outsourcing industry in the world. So, at least in 2010, India had lost out to the Philippines, but it's still up there. So, I agree completely. And you're saying one of the reasons was probably because of the of the um, investment in IT. Well, here's a question. Let's be specific now. Back office. Back office has been outsourced.
For example, one of example of back office is a call center.
Yeah. Well, that's different, but I agree. You're right. Call centers too. Yeah. Maybe that. I don't know if that's back office, but I agree with you. Yeah, sure. Call centers in India, very famous for it. Absolutely. It's probably cheaper to have a phone bank out there in India. Plus, English is, I believe, the official language of India, like
Sorry,
officially.
back office maybe one of the example of back office is but financial
Yeah,
institution
exactly.
section
Finance, HR,
separate
maybe.
from main office.
Hmm? Absolutely. So doing the books, accounting.
Accounting, yes, it deal with local customers.
Yeah, local people can do it, but the point is, anywhere in the world, you could potentially
Okay.
outsource to India if you wanted to. But yeah, absolutely, it could be local. So these are some good because when we say terms like business process outsourcing, what does it mean? That's the problem. We have to plug in reality a little bit. Okay, here's what I'd like you to do just to finish class. I'd like you to take, how many words do we have here? We've got 10 vocabulary words. I'd like you, if you can, to describe a company that you know about, preferably one in your country, to describe it in terms of these 10 things, if you can. If you can't get 10, do as many as you can. Sylvia, you talked about Fiat, right?
Yes.
Well, I wonder how many of those vocabulary words could you use to talk about the situation in Fiat? You don't have to be an expert, by the way. It's just giving a little bit of background. The important thing is that you try to use some of the core vocabulary words. For example, you could say, well, Fiat was an Italian, I guess still is, an Italian company that worked in the automotive sector. Look at that, I used the first word. Can you give a little description and try to use maybe 2 to 3 other words from this list?
Okay, there are also really expertise in expensive car, because Ferrari
they
is
have expertise in.
expertise in expensive car and really fast car, because Ferrari is also inside the Fiat.
Okay. So they do not just little Fiat cars for everyday people, but they do luxury cars.
Luxury cars and also Trump for work in the field, the countryside, and but they during the last 20 years, I think, they are losing their markets, and so they try to increase the sale, exporting the growth.
Well, wait. Export growth is a noun. It's one word. Export growth. So they try to increase their export growth by doing what?
Outsourcing the company in I think in Albania and other in Brazil, and spread all over the world.
Okay, good. So they try to increase their export growth by outsourcing. Does that mean that the manufacturing went to Brazil? What does it mean exactly?
Yes, the manufacturing went to Brazil and Albania. But the problem is that if they are outsourcing there, they haven't really skilled workers. And in Italy, we have 3 big, so the Fiat is only the name, but they have so many factories inside. And in Italy, they have so many skilled workers that they lose their job.
Right. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Okay.
It's good enough for now. It sounds pretty good. So we had sector, export growth. You could even have mentioned the BPO as well, because you're talking about what they're exporting to Brazil. Expertise, remember, it's a noun. So they have expertise, right? They have expertise in luxury cars. Fantastic. Let's get someone else. Talk about a company that you know about, preferably one in the country where you are, and see how many of these 10 vocabulary words you can use to talk about their outsourcing situation. Anyone else want to try?
I can.
Go for it.
Okay. In Libya here, we have the LBTIC. LBTIC is the holding company for the telecom sector.
LBTIC?
Libyan Post Telecommunication Information Company.
Okay.
This company is the holding company of the telecom sector in Libya. Of course, it is the public company. This company have mobile companies and mobile operators and fixed operator. So they should improve their infrastructure. I mean the telecom infrastructure to provide good service to the their customer. So and also they need to increase their skilled workers. So to do that, they bring some expertise from the offshoring company or offshore location, and also they need some training facilities to.
Okay, very good. But you didn't really talk about the outsourcing, though, right?
Yes. Okay. Also, they should concern or concentrate in their core activities and keep the other service and bring the outsourcing for other services like the IT or not the main business.
Okay. So look in the chat window. There's two notes I'd make. You could have used core activity right in the beginning because you could have said their core activities are IT and telecommunications, right? So you could have mentioned it right in the beginning, but you did mention it in the end. But I'm just putting a little asterisk there because you had the opportunity. I just wanted to point it out. Second asterisk is next to offshore locations because offshore, that kind of refers to like a tax dodge, right? Does everyone know what a tax dodge is?
Yes, when there are something like fee, so when you are exporting something, you need also to pay for the product, something
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, like when you go through the
When you are
airport, you have
importing.
to declare things, or yeah. So how does offshore relate to that? Exactly. I agree with you, but could you be more clear? Well, how does offshore relate to not paying taxes?
To invite foreign countries, country often provide good condition of paying tax. Maybe they conduct country conduct tax dodge. For example, Dubai is one of most
Dodgy.
advanced country. they produce non-tax to invite foreign companies, mainly mainly not manufacturing, just yes, how to say? Inviting foreign countries, yes.
Well, I know that a lot. I know that like my university, NYU, went to Dubai. So there's a there's a New York University in Dubai, which is pretty weird, actually, if you think about it.
Warehouse, I remember. Yes,
Warehouses, really?
Yes, there are many warehouses of foreign countries placed in Dubai. Now global company may use Dubai as a center of providing their products all over the world from Dubai. Firstly, Dubai is good for transporting their products because Dubai is placed in the center of the world.
Okay, I didn't know that. So like logistically, it's just a good place to store products and then send them out. And who does that? Are you talking about Western companies, Asian companies? I mean, everyone? I've actually never heard this before. So
Yeah.
I've never heard this before. So are you talking about like Western?
If you go to Dubai, you will see a lot of warehouse is located there. You can see many warehouse from the window of train.
Well, I've never been there, so I don't know. You've been there.
Yes, I've been there. When
You've seen them.
When I go back to Japan, I dropped to the Dubai and went along the city.
There you go. All right. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up here. You've got a good second set of vocabulary here. You can see on screen. We're going to continue in tomorrow's class with vocabulary. You're going to do a little listening activity, and here you're going to be focused more on I'll get to it in a second. So it's going to be more verbs. We're going to add a set of verbs. We're going to be finishing up by deciding. Let me see if I can have the task here, as you can see on screen. You're going to be giving advice to a company about outsourcing, trying to use both sets of words to do so. If we have time, we're going to move on. Okay, there's the transcription. If we have time, we might even move on to the next section, which is the business skills section. We might at least begin it as well. Okay, so I'm going to send you a little homework from yesterday's class. If you'd like to do it, you can write it, send it to me, I'll correct it and send it back, or I'll try my best. And I'll see you tomorrow at 10 GMT for speaking skills and 11 GMT for the last part of the vocabulary section of outsourcing work. That's it for today. Have a great day, everyone. See you very soon.
Thank you for the class.
Make sure you visit the storage. Make sure you visit the storage spaces in Dubai if you happen to be there. I don't know what else today. Bye for now, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hope to see you soon.
Bye.
Thank you.